A very good evening to you. Many thanks for choosing KU TV Weekend Live this 13th day of the month of November 2020. And as we always do, we kick off the bulletin with a look at our top stories tonight. Coronavirus infection claims lives of 4 doctors in just 24 hours. Irate residents banned 2 suspected cattle thieves in Machakos County. Senators side with governors to block new tea regulations. Sigh of relief as petrol, diesel, kerosene prices all come to a low. A very warm welcome once again to the broadcast. My name is Grace Josephine and I'm in the company of Moses Gitonga, who's our sign language interpreter tonight. We kick off with, on a health note rather, 4 medical doctors are among 21 people who have succumbed to COVID-19 within the last 24 hours, the Ministry of Health confirmed on Saturday. This takes the country's total fatality to 1,249. 1,080 people tested positive for the coronavirus from a sample size of 8,322. Take a look.
The latest deaths associated to coronavirus in the medical circle have raised alarm among the doctors who put their life on the line to save hundreds of thousands of Kenyans who have contracted the virus.
Thank you, Irene Mwangi, for that report. Now, crossing over to Msambweni, the Orange Democratic Movement Party has embarked on a door-to-door campaign to woo voters in the Msambweni parliamentary seat ahead of the December 15th by-elections. Listen in.
Campaigns for the Msambweni seat that fell vacant following the death of area member of parliament Suleiman Dori in March has gathered steam, with the main contenders resorting to door-to-door drive due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
On to matters business, motorists are set for relief after an all-inclusive drop in the cost of fuel was announced on Saturday in the mid-month review by the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, or EPRA, if you may. The cost of super petrol is from midnight expected to reduce by 1.42 shillings, while that of diesel will drop by 2.21 shillings. Kerosene cost will similarly reduce by 2.10 per litre shilling, rounding off the all-inclusive drop in fuel cost. EPRA has attributed the reduction in fuel cost to a fall in the average cost of imported petroleum products. The all-round drop in fuel cost is expected to slam the brakes on rising consumer cost, which surged last month owing largely to previous fuel cost increases. With the high cost of living in Kenya attributed by the ever-increasing energy and water bills, the youths have borne the brunt, especially with the ever-increasing unemployment rates. But this is not the case with one Lewis Maina, a 35-year-old farmer who quitted his white-collar job for farming.
Lewis Maina, a diligent and hardworking farmer in Kiambu County, Karibarbi village. He starts off his week like any other week.
Thank you, Mtabazi Abdul, for that report. 2 cattle thieves were beaten and burnt to death on Saturday morning when they were caught slaughtering 5 stolen cattle in Machakos County. The 2 were attacked by a mob as they tried to escape after a boda rider spotted them and alerted area residents.
3 suspects escaped death by a whisker after one suspect has been killed by mob justice and the other burned to death in Koma village in Matungulu after being caught slaughtering 5 cows.
Moving on, living with disability in a third world country has remained a challenge, with most of the victims having a hard time to maneuver while living. Though the challenges remain constant throughout their lives, well-wishers and non-governmental organizations have always come in hand to offer both psychosocial therapy to the victims. Have a look.
Master Empowerment Center is an organization that started in 2018 with the aim of offering psychological and social help, especially to parents who have children abled differently.
Moving on, the move by MPs to join in tea industry has ACT Agricultural CS Peter Munya, who condemns the move. 2 Senate committees have rejected new tea sector regulations, dealing a blow to Munya's efforts of instituting reforms in the industry.
Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya has faulted the Senate Sessional Committee on Delegated Legislation and the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries for rejecting the Crops Tea Industry Regulations 2020.
We'd love to get some of your feedback from our stories. You can always tweet us through at KUTV_Kenya or through mine at WGraceJosephine. We take a very quick breather. We'll be right back with what's happening globally. Glad to have you back. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo heads to France, Turkey and 5 other countries just days after Democrat Joe Biden was named the projected winner of the presidential race. Pompeo's refusal to recognize Biden's victory has raised eyebrows, as VOA's diplomatic correspondent Cindy Sain reports.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is traveling on what is likely to be one of his final tours as the chief U.S. diplomat.
Still on the U.S., Joe Biden, projected to become America's 46th president in January, has vowed to stop constructing a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border, a centerpiece of President Donald Trump's presidency. VOA's Elizabeth Lee reports.
In the Laredo sector of Texas, agents watch over more than 270 kilometers of the border between the United States and Mexico.
And that report brings us to our final breather here on KUTV Weekend Live. We're prepared to bring you what's happening in the world of sports. See you on the other side. Glad to have you back. Now crossing over to the sports arena. Harambee Stars safely arrived in Moroni in time for the Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Comoros. Stars are set to have a feel of the field of play later in the day as final preps for the crucial qualifier. The return match has been slated for Sunday, November the 15th. Football Kenya Federation is in mourning of the untimely death of Kenya's former soccer chief, Mohamed Hatimi. On behalf of the Federation, FKF President Nick Mwendwa paid tribute to Hatimi as an astute leader and conveyed a message of condolence to the family, friends and soccer fraternity following the passing on of the administrator. Company throughout this broadcast. My name is Grace Josephine, and Moses Gitonga has been our selling interpreter tonight. Do have yourself a lovely one and keep it KUTV for Rumba Afrique coming up next.